new teacher here and hoping to continue your lessons. So, at the beginning, I would like to ask, how are you? Are you all keeping well? I hope you all are safe and fine at home. So, let me continue the lesson. I hope you can remember me as well because we did a lesson on last Tuesday. So I'm going to continue the same lesson. So let me share my presentation with you. Right, I guess you can see the presentation. So can you remember me what we did the previous week? That means not actually the previous week, the last Tuesday. We continued the lesson of part 1 passive voice. Today here I have come to do 2 more tenses with you and here we continue. Right. Can you remember, dear children, last week, that means last Tuesday, we did the simple present and simple past, how to convert the given passive voice, sorry, the active voice sentence into a passive voice, right? So this week, I'm hoping to continue from the third tense, that is the present continuous tense. Right. Now, normally, if you know, just tell me in what instances we use the present continuous tense. Normally, we use the present continuous tense. I want to highlight the active voice, not the passive voice, to talk about the certain actions happening at the moment of speaking. Now, for an example, if I give you like this, the teacher is teaching. Right now at the moment I'm teaching, so you can feel and you can experience it. So that action is going on the moment of speaking, and as you all are students, you all are, what you are doing now? Are you dreaming or are you sleeping? No, you all are getting ready to learn this lesson. So present continuous tense we used normally it to talk about the actions happening at the moment of speaking. Right here I'm going to focus on passive voice because we are going to learn the passive voices. Right, now you can see this sentence. Right, as we did, as you can remember the previous Tuesday, we talked about the 4 sentence types: affirmative, negative, question, and the interrogative. Today also we are going to do all these 4 sentence patterns with the passive voices. Now you can see the affirmative sentence, active voice. Right, Pawan is riding a bicycle now. Right, how are you going to identify as this is a present continuous tense? Because the structure is there, not the passive. I'm going to highlight you the present continuous tense, the active voice sentence, because in active voice structure, am is are plus the gerund form. Gerund means the ing form. Now here you can see this boy Pawan. Pawan is riding a bicycle now. Right? So how we are going to convert this type of sentence into a passive form? Right? Now look at the structure. A bicycle is being ridden by Pawan now. Now, can you remember the guidelines that we discussed the last Tuesday? What are those guidelines? First, we have to divide. I'm just going to remind you before we are starting the lesson. First, we have to divide the sentence into 4 components. That means subject, verb, object, and finally the rest of the sentence. Right? So here, Pavan is the subject given in our active voice sentence. Who is the subject or the doer? The Pavan. And what is the verb here? Is riding is the verb here. And a bicycle is the rest of the sentence. And now we can categorize now into the rest of the sentence part. Just to remind you, right? So I have taken the object of this given sentence, a bicycle, as the subject of our sentence, right? So now we will check with the structure. Now you can even see the structure as well here. In passive voice structure, first we have to get the subject, right? What is the subject here? The active voice subject is going to become the, the active voice object is going to become the subject of the passive voice. What is it? A bicycle, right? Now our subject is okay. You can see. Now you can compare it with the structure, right? A bicycle, right? Now what we should do, the next, in next, we have to select the present be form of the verb. As it is present continuous tense, we are going to deal with these present be verbs, am, is, are, right? Our subject is a singular noun, so we are going to select the be verb is. The subject plus be verb, bicycle is, right? Now you can understand, right? Now you have to keep it in your mind. The continuous tenses, when we are forming the active into passive, the continuous tenses, you have to add this being. You have to keep it in your mind. Continuous in passive means you have to deal with this word being. Not, we have two forms of being, but you have to keep it in your mind, B-E-I-N-G form, this being, right? And next, being should be there. And the most important part is the past participle verb. Right? The past participle verb. So we have to get the past participle verb of the given verb. Riding. What is the past participle verb of ride? Ride, rode, ridden, the third category. So we have to get the past participle verb of this ride. So it is become ridden. So you can add the by phrase if there is a doer. Yes, there's a doer. The Pavan is the person who is doing this task. So you have to add by Pavan. And if the sentence is lengthy with the other rest of the sentences, you can attach them. So our complete sentence is, a bicycle is being ridden by Pavan now. Right, hope you can understand. Right, shall we move on to the second part? That means the negative question, not only the affirmative forms, because in your textbook sometimes you may get to convert some kind of negative and questions into the passive form. So we have to learn them. Right. Again, I'm going to move on to the next one, the same sentence. However, for active voice, you have to get the negative form of this being, right? So Pavan isn't. Pavan isn't riding. You can't change this gerund form. Pavan isn't riding a bicycle now. This is the negative of I'm going to convert this type of sentence into a passive. Right, you can see. Now, added to happen to meet this type of negative form in the sentence, you can keep this aside, right? Then Pavan riding a bicycle now, right? So we can divide the sentence into those three components, subject, verb, object, and the rest of the sentence. And we can get the rest of the, the object here in the front, a bicycle, and here you have to form the negative. The same be verb is coming. The same be verb is coming. So a bicycle isn't. Now you can't forget this being. Now I have experienced some of the students when they are forming or they're converting into the passive voice, the active voice sentence, they are forgetting this being part. But you can't forget this being part, right? You have to add this. Then only it is becoming a passive voice sentence. So our sentence is a bicycle isn't been, and you can't forget this as well. The past participle form, ridden. A bicycle isn't being ridden. There's a doer. The Pavan is doing. Now you can see he has fallen down, right? So he's not riding the bicycle. Then by Pavan now. So our negative sentence is a bicycle isn't being ridden by Pavan now. Right, shall we move on to the next one? That is the question form, right? Normally we are going to ask certain questions, right? So we want to use this form question, right? Is Pavan riding a bicycle now? You want to confirm whether he's riding or not, right? So how we are going to write? We'll move on to the active voice first. How we are going to form the questions, right? So the be verb should come first. After that, the subject. Is Pavan, then gerund is here. Is Pavan riding a bicycle now? Right. So how we are going to form this sentence into passive? So is not changing. Why? Because this is present continuous. The same be verbs are continuing even in the passive voice. So you have to get this is front. Is, then you can get the object here, a bicycle. Is a bicycle. Right. Can you just omit this being? No, you can't. You have to add this. Then only it becoming passive voice. Is a bicycle being. Then here also you have to get the past participle form. Is a bicycle being ridden by Pavan? We can't forget the doer here. Actually, the by praise is not that much important in passive voice. Even without the by praise, we can say the sentence. Right? But here the Pavan is here as the doer. So we can't forget it. We can't omit it. So we have to add it by Pavan. A bicycle is being ridden also correct. Right? Up to here also our sentence is correct. But we can't omit. අපිට මේක අතාරින්න බෑ දුව කෙනෙක් ඉන්න නිසා. So is a bicycle being ridden by Pavan now? So we have to attach all the rest of the sentences part at the end. Right, shall I move on to the next one? That means the negative question. Right, let me have a look to the negative question. First, we will focus on the active voice. Isn't Pavan riding a bicycle now? Pavan bicycle එකක් පදින්නේ නැද්ද මේ වෙලාවේ? That is the negative question. So you can understand the negative form and you can continue with the ing form here, and how the passive voice, how we can convert this given sentence into passive voice. This be form isn't changing, children. So we have to get isn't here, right? Once you form the affirmative sentence, අපි affirmative sentence එකේදී අවශ්‍ය කරන කොටස් වලට sentence එක කඩා ගත්තාම subject, verb, object අපිට මේ ටික කරගෙන යන්න ලේසි දරුවනේ. එතකොට isn't a bicycle, this object is coming in the second place as the subject. Isn't a bicycle. අයි අපි isn't දාන්නේ මෙතන අපි negative question එකක් form කරන්නේ. Isn't a bicycle. So you can't omit this or you can't forget this being but. Then being, and you have to write the past participle verb here, being ridden by Pavan now. Isn't a bicycle being ridden by Pavan now? You can ask or you can form this type of passive voice, the negative questions as well. Right. Now, I'm going to take you to an exhibition, right? Now, I hope you understood how the present continuous is forming into the active voice sentences into passive voice, right? Now, we are going to work on with this activity, right? You have to imagine you are in an exhibition, right? Now, most of the time we have exhibitions at schools. Sometimes you may have the experience by seeing an exhibition outside, right? There are many places, right? So these are some kind of activities done by the people in the exhibition, right? What is the first one? People are taking photographs. Normally, if we see if the photographs are allowed, we can take it, right? So this is one action, right? What is the other one? Spectators are appreciating the exhibits. Exhibits means අපි exhibition එකේ තියෙන ප්‍රදර්ශන භාණ්ඩවලට තමයි අපි exhibits කියලා කියන්නේ, right? When they are so nice and beautiful, we really appreciate them, no? So spectators means නරඹන්නෝ. යාලා අගේ කරනවා ලස්සන exhibits කියනකොට. So that is also one kind of activity we are just normally doing. And third one, the men are buying beautiful paintings in it. If the paintings are there available for selling, so we can buy them. So that is also a kind of activity. And last, almost all are enjoying the exhibition, right? So if it is so nice, attractive, and heart-touching, we really appreciate it, right? BMICH annually, there's a big exhibition conducting in the BMICH, right? Almost all the children now, they are just appreciating, not the children, all the people appreciating, right? So here we have come to the task. Now I have given all these sentences. What you have to do is you have to form these into the passive voice, right? Shall we try? Right, okay, I will help you with the first one. We'll see. Right, first we have to divide this sentence into the given components. Subject, then are taking is the verb, photographs is the object, no rest of the sentence here, right? So we have to get this object front, then photographs, right? Photographs. Then as this is present continuous tense and our subject is a plural noun. Photographs කිව්වම අපි දන්නවා එක බහුවචනයි, plural. Then what's the be verb? Are. Photographs are being. You can't forget this. Being. Then what's the past participle verb of this taking? That is taken. Take, took, taken. Third category. Are being taken by the people. Then the passive voice sentence is photographs are being taken by the people, right? I will give you a few minutes. Can you just do the second, third, and the fourth one? Right. Are you ready to do it? Right. Now try this second, third, and fourth. I will give you some time to work on. Right, hope you all are finished with that. Just raise your hand if you are finished. Now there's an option with that, you can do that. Anybody who completed? Okay, I can see. Good. So many are raising hands. Right, shall we continue then? How are you going to do the next one? Spectators are appreciating the exhibits, right? So how the answer? What's the answer? How are you going to convert this into passive? Spectators are appreciating the exhibits. Now the exhibits is this object here, and spectators, the subject, are appreciating the verb. The exhibits is the object, right? The object is coming front as the subject, then the exhibits. Now we have to see whether the subject, the passive voice, the subject of the passive voice is singular, plural. Now we can see it's plural. Then the exhibits are, we can't forget the being appreciated, appreciated by the spectators. So how we are going to say the passive voice sentence? The exhibits are being appreciated by the spectators. Hope you have done the third one as well. I'm going to move on to that. Our third sentence is, the men are buying beautiful paintings in it. Right, shall we divide this sentence? This is the active voice sentence. The men subject, are buying is the verb, beautiful paintings, and you can see the adjective here, beautiful paintings, that's the object, and in it is the rest of the sentence part. That day I told you, if there's a preposition like this, in, on, at, with that preposition, the latter part we can consider as the rest of the sentence. Okay, right. Then beautiful paintings, that's the subject of our passive voice. So what's the be verb then? Are. Beautiful paintings are. Can we forget this being? No, we can't. Being. Then what's the past participle verb of this buy? That is bought, not brought. Some of the students, they are confusing with the brought and the bought. Bought කියලා කියන්නේ මොන හරි දෙයක් අරගෙන එනවට, right? And here bought means මිලදී ගන්නවා, right? So we have to use B-O-U-G-H-T, not B-R-O-U-G-H-T. So the beautiful paintings are being bought by the men in it. So we can get the past participle verb of buying, buy, that is bought. Right, shall we move on to the third one? Sorry, the fourth one. Almost all are enjoying the exhibition. Right, you can see they all like enjoying it. Right, how is the answer for that? Almost all, right? The subject. Are enjoying is the verb. The exhibition is the what? Object. Then we have to get the object front in the passive as the subject. Then the exhibition. Then it's a singular noun. The exhibition is then being enjoyed. We can't forget the word being, right? And we have to get the past participle verb of enjoy. That is a regular verb. Then enjoyed by almost all. The exhibition is being enjoyed by almost all. So that's all with our experience with the exhibition. Shall we move on to the next one? Right. Okay, this is an online task. Now we have completed and we have done certain exercises with the present continuous. Right, now we are going to do online worksheet with related to the knowledge that we did so far with the present continuous tense. Right. I will send you the link. Just wait so that you can try. Something wrong with the link? I will try it again. Okay, I will try it again. Till that, we will move on to the next tense. Right? That is the past continuous tense. I will try with that again. Till that, you can move on to the next one. Right? Let me share my presentation again with you. Right, past continuous tense. Right. Again, we have to move on to the structure. Structure and the four form the sentences. Okay. So we have to learn the affirmative, negative, question, and the interrogative here as well. Right. Let me highlight the affirmative form here. The kids were reading newspapers at the library. The kids were reading newspapers at the library. Right. You can see here how we are going to identify this given affirmative sentence as the past continuous. Past continuous, right? It is with these be verbs, was and were. Now you can see here in the given passive structure, even in the active, even in the passive, we have to use or we have to deal with these was and were. Was and were be verbs. Was is with, what is it? Is it singular or is it plural? Was? What is it, children? Just tell me. Huh? Was is with singular nouns and the were is with plural nouns. The kids were. Why did I use were here? Because our subject is a plural noun. The kids were. Now it's as its continuous tense. You have to use the ing form. The kids were reading newspapers at the library. This is our given sentence. This action has started at some time in the past and it is still continuing in the present as well. Right. Now we will see how we are going to turn this type of sentence into passive. Right. Newspapers. Right. What is the subject here then in the passive voice sentence? Now, as usual, as we did earlier, we have to deal with this. The kids, this is the subject. And were reading, this is the, what is this? This is the verb. Newspapers, then what's the newspapers here? That is the object. Then at the library is the rest of the sentence. At the library with this preposition, the other part we can say that's the rest of the sentence. Right. The kids were reading newspapers at the library. Right. So we can get this object in the front place in our passive voice sentence. The newspapers, that is the subject. Right. Now just compare with the structure. Now you can see in this blue our structure. Now our subject is okay. Newspapers. Right. Now we have to do what we have to do here. Now we have to select the be verb according to the structure. Newspapers. Then what's the be verb? Newspaper. This is singular or plural. Is it singular? That means, is it singular? Newspapers? No, it's not. That is plural. So newspapers were. And we can't forget the being. Now you have to get the being from the structure. Right? Now you can see our structure is okay. Our sentence is okay here up to here. Then what is the past participle verb of this given read? What is it, children? Huh? What's the past participle verb of read? Read, read, read. The spelling's the same, but the pronunciation is different. අපිට මේක read කියලා මෙහෙම spellings තිබ්බට අපිට මේක read කියලා කියවන්න බෑ. It should be read. Past participle, even the past tense, it should be read. Then read, there's a doer. So we have to get the by phrase by the kids. Who is doing? Who is reading the newspapers here? Kids. So by the kids, and we can attach the other things at the library. So what is our affirmative sentence then? Newspapers were being read by the kids at the library. Hope you all can understand with the affirmative form. So shall we move on to the next one? Right. What is the negative? What's the next form then? The next form is the negative. Right. Now I have given the negative sentence there. Active voice, negative sentence. Right. AV means here the active voice. The kids weren't reading newspapers at the library. The kids weren't reading. Right. Weren't reading. Right. So with this form, we got to know this is a negative sentence, right? We have to get the negative of this past be verb. The kids weren't reading newspapers at the library. So how we are going to form this sentence into passive? Right. Just look at this. Right. How is passive voice? Right, now we have to divide the kids subject, then weren't reading is the verb, newspapers the object, at the library is the rest of the sentence. Now we can get this rest of the sentence part here. Newspapers, right? So the object of the active voice sentence coming as the subject of the passive voice. Newspapers. Then what's the negative form? Then we have to get the negative word. because this is a negative question. පත්තර කියවන්නේ නැහැ කියලා අපිට කියන්න ඕනේ. එහෙනම් අපි මේ be verb එක ගන්න ඕන. Past be verb එක. Weren't, and we can't forget this being. Then the newspapers weren't being, right? How to pronounce this word? I said it earlier. Read. Read. The past participle verb of this is that. Read by the kids at the library. Right, so our passive voice negative sentence is newspapers weren't being read by the kids at the library. Just raise your hands if you're okay up to here so that I can see. Don't just raise your hands in vain. Just raise your hands. Oh, give me a thumbs up if you're okay up to here. Okay. Right, then shall we move on to the next one? Right, what's the next form? The next form is the question form. Right, now let me introduce this active voice sentence. Were the kids reading newspapers at the library? Somebody is asking a question like this. Were the kids reading newspapers at the library? Right, now you can divide as we did earlier. Right, this is a question. The kids, this is the subject, and were reading is the object here. Sorry, the action here. The newspaper is the object, and at the library is the rest of the sentence. And this is a question, right? So how are we going to form this type of question into passive voice? We can't change here, right? We can't change, right? So we have to get here the negative form. Were should come here, right? So were the newspapers, newspaper, the object coming as the subject. Were newspapers. Now you can't forget the being here. Being read by the kids at the library. Were the newspapers being read by the kids at the library? So we can form the question like this in passive voice. Right. Shall we move on to the next one, the negative question? How's the negative question? Right. We'll just see the active voice negative question here. Weren't the kids reading newspapers at the library? Weren't the kids reading newspapers at the library? This is a question. Right. How we are going to form the question into the passive voice negative? Then you can't, that means remove, or you can't do anything here. So you have to get the past be verb. Why we are taking weren't here? Because the newspapers, that is the plural noun. That's a plural noun. So weren't the newspapers. So we just keep this weren't part. Why? Because we are going to form the negative question, right? With question we use were, right? You can see the previous side. Then here in the negative question, you have to use the word weren't. Weren't the newspapers, and being should be here, even the present, past, all continuous tenses in passive voice, being should here. Then being read by the kids at the library. So this will be our negative question. Weren't the newspapers being read by the kids at the library? This will be our passive voice negative question. Right, we'll move on to the next one. Right. There's another blank filling activity based on the past continuous tenses, right? Just we have discussed it. So can you try with these sentences, filling the blanks with the correct passive form with regard to past continuous tense, right? Shall we try? I will just help you with the very first one, right? A card game. Blank is there by the children at a friend's house. I have given the verb play. So you have to do the necessary adjustments here with the verb. Now you can remember. Now in present continuous tenses, we have to use am, is, are, then being past participle verb. Now how is the form or the structure for the past continuous tense? We have to use subject, was, were, being past participle verb, right? So we will try with the very first sentence given here. A card game, right? Then card game is a singular noun. So you have to get was, then card game was. So you can't forget this being part when it is coming to the passive in continuous being. And you have to get the past participle verb of this given. Then was being played. Then how is the complete sentence? A card game was being played by the children at a friend's house. Right. Can you try with the other sentences? Right. I will give you a few more minutes. You just try with the other four sentences. Right. Now start working on it. Have you finished? If so, just give me a thumbs up. Those who have already completed the activity, give me a thumbs up. No one? That means you all are busily engaging in the activity. Okay, Pute. Right. We will move on to the answers. You can check your answers by yourselves, right? Right. Now, how we are going to get the answer for the second one? A ball of milk. Milk is a singular. Make avila singular. Eka vachanai. එහෙනම් අපි ගන්න ඕන past form එකේදී verb එක තමයි was. එතකොට බහුවචනයක් ආවොත් subject එක විදියට අපි ගන්නෙ verb. එතකොට ball of milk. Kiri ball එකක් කියලා කියන්නේ. A ball of milk then was being drunk. So the verb is drink. We have to get the past participle form. A ball of milk, then was, then we can't forget this being, and you have to get the third category of the verb, being drunk by my pets early in the morning. Normally, we are feeding our pets early in the morning with some milk, right? So you have experienced this. And shall we move on to the next one? Some buns, right? Buns, it's a plural noun. So what's the be verb in past form? Were. Some buns were, then being. You have to get the being. And what's the past participle verb of this word given in the bracket? What's the past participle verb? Then were being eaten. You have to get the third category. Eat, ate, eaten. Third category. Passive means the past participle verb. Then some buns were eating by the rats. Right. Now the next one. The meals. Kama velaval. The meals. And here, now just check inside these brackets මේ brackets එක ඇතුලේ බලන්න not prepare මෙහෙම not එකක් දීලා තියෙනවා නම් ඔයාලට කියන්නේ මොකද්ද මේකේ negative form එක කියලා negative කියලා කියන්නේ not කියන එක පුතේ නෑ කියන එක then not prepare so you have to get the negative form of this be verb the meals weren't එහෙනම් අපි මේ subject එක singular ද plural ද බලුවා ඒ අනුව be verb එක තෝරගත්තා ඒ be verb එක මෙතන not prepare තියෙන්නේ කියන්නේ අපි ගන්න ඕනේ negative form එකක් එහෙනම් මේ be verb එකේ negative form එක ගන්නවා weren't the meals weren't you can't forget the being then being what's the past participle verb of this prepare it should be prepared regular verb then the meals weren't being prepared by the family members. That's how you're going to take the negative form. Right. Now try even with the fifth one. That is also a kind of negative form. Not praise. The teacher singular. Then how is it? Wasn't. Teacher nang was. The teacher wasn't being. What's the past participle verb of this praise? Then it should be praised. Regular verb. The teacher wasn't being praised by the principal. Just raise your hands. Those who got all correct. Oh, give me a thumbs up. Nobody? Nobody got all correct. I'm so sad then. Right. Then, shall we move on to the next one? Right. Convert these into passive. Kute, there is another activity. Convert these into passive. Another 5. I will give you 5 minutes with the gain knowledge. This is a mixture of all the activities. That means all the 4 forms. Now here, first one you can see. This is, what is this? What type of sentence is it? Is it a sentence or a question? Huh? This is just a question, no? Was she watering the plants? Right, convert this and the teacher was completing the lessons. This is, what is this sentence type? This is affirmative. Then they were playing games. What is this? This is also an affirmative sentence. Then the guy wasn't repairing the mobile. What is this? This is just a negative sentence, no? And finally, you can see mom was feeding. Mom was feeding the baby thrice a day. Right. Now try with this. Try with these sentences. Quickly turn them into passive voice. I will give you some time to work on this. Right. Quickly try with this. Rather than telling me the answer, you can write it down and you can try. Shall we move on to the answer of the first one? Right, all the answers are here. Was she watering the plants? Right, this is a question. So you have to form into a question of passive voice. Was, now the plants is the object of the active voice. So it's coming as the subject. Was the plants were being watered? You have to get the past participle verb. And you can't forget this being watered by her. And you can't forget here these object pronouns. You can't keep she as it is here. It should be turned into object pronoun. Her. Right. Then the second one, the teacher was completing the lessons. How is it? The lessons, the teacher subject was completing is the verb here. The lessons is the object. Then how is it? The lessons were being completed. I have highlighted the special things that you have to add in your answer. The lessons were being completed by the teacher. Right. Third one, they were playing games. They is the subject, verb playing is the verb, games, that's the object. Right. Then how is it? Games, this object coming as the subject of passive. Then games, it's a plural, were, then you have to get being, were being, then what's the past participle verb of this play? It should be played. Games were being played by them. Right, then We'll discuss this fourth one. The man wasn't repairing the mobile. The man wasn't repairing the mobile. Man, the subject, wasn't repairing the verb. The mobile is the object. Then how is it? The mobile, that's a singular noun, wasn't. Why we put wasn't here? Because the given sentence is in negative. And we have to keep the negative of this passive as well. The mobile wasn't being repaired by the guy or the man. You can keep it, the man. Right. What's the answer for the next one? The last one. Mom was feeding the baby thrice a day. Right. What's the answer? The mom is the subject. Was feeding is the verb. The baby is the object thrice a day. 3 times a day. So this is the rest of the sentence part. Then how is the passive voice sentence? The baby is a singular noun. So it should be was. The baby was being. You have to get the being form. එහෙනම් අපිට මේ past participle එක මොකක්ද මේ feed කියන word එකේ? Feed, fed. The past and the past participle the same. එහෙනම් the baby was being fed by mom thrice a day. Thrice a day means the 3 times a day. Right. Now, how many answers? That means out of these 5, how many you got correct? I hope you all got correct. Five got correct. Very good. Some are 4, some are 5. Well done. Right. Very happy from me. Shall we move on to the next one? Rewrite these in passive voices. Right. Here put a mixture of all the tenses that we discussed. Mixed activity from using the present continuous and the past continuous. Mixture of all these activities. Shall we try? Shall we try them quickly? Only 8 that means 8 sentences are there so that we can try. And I will give you some time and I will help you with one sentence. Right. My father is washing a car. My father is washing. So what's this? First, you have to identify the tense of this given sentence. Is means that is definitely present continuous. So what's the structure for the present continuous? Am, is, a be verb plus being plus past participle verb. Then a car is being washed by my father. Then we can divide the sentence. My father subject, is washing is the verb, a car is the object. So a car coming as the subject in the passive voice sentence. Then a car. So it's a singular noun. So we have to add the present be verb is. Then you have to get the be form, being form. And we have to get the past participle verb of this given verb washing. What is it? It's a regular verb. Washed. A car is being washed. There's a doer who is washing this car. The father is doing this task. Then you have to add this by phrase, by my father. Right. It's the same with the negative and even with the question form. Now you can try them. Okay, right. I will give you some minutes. You can try them. Right, now I have taken the answer for the second one. He wasn't wearing a tie. You can correct your answers by yourselves. A tie wasn't being wrong. There's an answer from Rehana Fernando. Pute, the past participle verb of this wear is worn, not weared. We don't have a particular word called weared. අපි weared කියලා word එකක් නෑ පුතේ. The past participle verb of this wear is worn. Wear, wore, worn. So you have to by heart. Now in passive voice කරනකොට අනිවාර්යයෙන්ම මේ past participle verb list එක දැනගෙන ඉන්න ඕන. අපි මෙතන වැරදියට ගියොත් අපේ sentence එක වැරදි වෙනවා. අපි කොච්චර මුලින් ඉඳලා ලස්සනට sentence එක හදාගෙන ආවත් අන්තිම මොහොතේ මෙතන past participle verb එක දන්නේ නැති වෙලා ඔය වගේ වැරදි ඒවා දැම්මොත් වැරදි. I'm not criticizing. මම වරදක් කියනවා නෙමෙයි යාට. නමුත් මේ word එක අපි හරියටම දැනගන්න ඕන. එතකොට weared කියලා දාන්න බෑ. A tie wasn't being worn. You have to by heart. මේවා මේ වෙනකොට දැනගෙන ඉන්න ඕන past participle verb list. Then worn by him. දැන් මම මෙතන him දැම්මේ මෙන්න මේ subject එක object pronoun එකක් වෙනකොට he මොකද වෙන්නේ? him වෙනවා. Then a tie wasn't being worn by him. Right. We will try the next one. She's taking a picture of him. She's taking a picture of him. Right. Pute, now how we are going to divide? She's taking a picture of him. A picture of him is the object here. She is subject, is taking is the verb. A picture of him is the, what is it? Object. So we have to get the particular word. A picture of him මේ ඔක්කොම අපි object එක විදියට ගන්නෙ. ඒක අපි ඉස්සරහට ගන්නවා. A picture of him. Then a picture of him. එතකොට මේ sentence එක present continuous. එහෙනම් අපි present be verb එක දාන්න ඕනේ. එක පින්තූරයයි ගන්නෙ. A picture of him is අපිට අමතක කරන්නම බෑ මේ being කියන word එක passive word. Is being. දැන් අපිට මේ verb එක වරද්දන්න බෑ. එහෙනම් මොකක්ද දෙන්න ඕනේ? Is being, take, took, taken. The past participle is taken. Taken by her. A picture of him was taken by, is being taken by her. She මෙතනදී අපිට මොකද වෙන්නේ? Her විදිහට convert වෙනවා. Right. I was writing a poem. What is the tense? Is that present continuous? No, that's in past continuous form. Past continuous active. How is it? How we are going to convert that into passive? Right. I subject, was writing is the verb, a poem is the object. Right. A poem coming as the subject in the sentence. A poem. Poem is a singular noun. එහෙනම් මේ poem එක singular noun එකක් මේ tense එක past continuous tense. එහෙනම් අපි is දාන්න බෑ, was. A poem was, then you have to get being. Was being. What's the past participle verb of this write? It should be written. A poem was being written by me. Some more sentences are there. You can just try them. Quickly try them. Right, I will share my answers with you. We were playing footballs. Football was being played by us. Why did I use was here? Because our sentence is in the past continuous tense. So the football was being played by us. You have to get the past participle verb of that. Then we is changing into us. Next sentence, is she preparing the party? Is she preparing the party? It's a question. Question, present continuous tense. How is the answer? Is the party. Party coming as the subject. Is the party. Then we have to get being prepared. This is a regular verb, prepared by her. She is converting into object pronoun her. So is the party being prepared by her? That is our passive voice question. Right. Farmer Jervis milking the cows. What's the given tense? It's in past continuous. Then how is the answer? It's very easy. Then cow, that is the subject of the passive voice. The cows, you have to mind this is past continuous tense. So cows කිව්වහම මෙයාලා plural. Then were being milked. This milking, that is a regular verb. Then milked by Farmer Joe. Right. Final sentence. Right. Shayla is drinking a cup of tea. Right. Then this is affirmative sentence, present continuous. Then how the cup of tea is the subject. Then it is coming as a subject of passive, a cup of tea. And the tense is present continuous. And we have to get the present be verb is being. What's the past participle verb of this drink? Drink, drank, drunk. A cup of tea is being drunk by Shayla. So that is the affirmative of the present continuous tense, the answer for the 8th one. Right, here we have come to the end of our lesson, and we will be meeting again in another day with another 2 more tenses to be completed. So hope you all got clear with what we have done from 2 o'clock onwards. And let me give you a small summary. In passive, present continuous passive voice, okay, you have to use subject, then present be verb. Present be verbs අපි පාවිච්චි කරන්න ඕනේ පුතේ. Am, is, are. ඒකම being කියන පදේ යොදන්න ඕන. ඊට පස්සේ අපි past participle verb එක ගන්න ඕනේ. That is the structure for the present continuous tense. And how we are going to turn a particular sentence into a past? You have to get subject, was, were. Why are we going to now? You can see the structure again here. Am, is, are, being, past participle verb. This is with regard to the present form. Right. Then how is the past form? Just to remind and recall you what we have learned so far. What's the structure? Now you have to get with the subject, was, were, the past be verbs, and being, past participle verb, they are continuing as the same. So children, you can recall, you can take some photographs. So you did certain activities with me, and hope you all are okay with the present continuous and the past continuous, right? So we will meet again on another day. Until then, goodbye. Do continuous studies so you can improve a lot. So with that, goodbye from me.